Selamat siang. Welcome to the latest news from Bali and Indonesia. This is June 20th, 2022, and my name is Bruce. What's the weather like today in Singaraja? Well, it is sunny and warm. The temperature is 30.5 degrees Celsius, humidity 62%, and the wind speed is 8.3 kilometers per hour. Lots of things as usual, and I hope you enjoyed the cooking video that I uploaded yesterday. If you didn't see it, you can see it right up here. And as usual, thanks for all your comments, and for those people that watch the Singaraja snippets, thanks for your comments on that as well. And so what do we have today? Let's take a look at the numbers first. The numbers are over 1,000 again nationally. 1,167, national recoveries 632, national deaths 3. Remember, this is Monday. Bali new cases 27, Bali recoveries 21, and Bali deaths are 0. The government is monitoring the number of cases, and I'm going to talk about that in a segment. And I know it doesn't seem like much compared to a lot of other places, but remember that the government has been very conservative about how they deal with this from the get-go. And so they're concerned that there's a spike coming up, and well, we'll get to that in a minute. But first, let's look at the lead story, which is about drugs in Bali. And this time the story is not about drugs with local people, but instead this is about drugs and foreigners. Bali not a safe haven for drug abuse, says BNN. Who is BNN? That's the National Narcotics Agency, BNN, and they've warned tourists, particularly foreign tourists, that Bali is not a safe haven for drug abuse. As far as I know, we haven't had any drug bust of foreigners recently, but I guess this is just a warning. All regions in Indonesia, including the resort island of Bali, do not tolerate any kind of drug abuse, according to the BNN Head Commissioner General. He stated this at the opening of Smash on Drugs International Table Tennis Tournament at Udayana University in Denpasar on Sunday. Pak Golos said, "I declare that Bali is not only the island of the gods and the island of tolerance, but we declare that Bali is the island of zero tolerance of drug abuse." He said, as Bali has begun to receive more tourists, the threat of illicit drug trafficking has also increased. And before the pandemic, we did have a number of cases of people bringing drugs into Bali and a lot of busts as well. But since the pandemic, that seems to have disappeared. So he's warning that it may start up again. Pakolo said that drug trafficking is closely related to organized crime and transnational organized crime. "I warn drug dealers that there is zero tolerance for them if they wish to expand their narcotics business in Bali," he said at the commemoration of the 2022 International Anti-Narcotics Day. The BNNs called on all people, including foreigners in the country, to jointly eradicate drug abuse. And as part of this campaign, this is interesting, the agency is going to hold a night of reflection at Murtasari Beach on June 26, 2022, okay, that's this weekend, as a form of concern over global and national drug trafficking issues. Later in Murtasari, he said, "I will invite ambassadors so we can show the world how serious Indonesia is in eradicating narcotics." So if you follow this channel, you know that I've been talking about the problems that we have with methamphetamine here in Bali, well, in Indonesia, but Bali as well. And that's involved local people over the last few months. But here's a warning for foreigners. Do not do drugs if you come to Bali. The consequences are serious. And what about COVID? Indonesia prepares for yet another COVID-19 wave. So health authorities are bracing for the possibility of another COVID-19 wave following the detection of the country's first local transmissions of BA4 and BA5, the subvariants of Omicron. These subvariants are reportedly more highly transmissible than the Omicron variants previously, and they've spread to at least a dozen countries. Indonesia's seen an uptick in COVID cases over the past 3 weeks, with weekly caseloads doubling from 1,800 cases at the end of May to 3,600 cases this past week. National COVID-19 spokesperson Wikwik, I've talked about him many times, said several factors have contributed to the recent surge in cases, including increased public mobility, poor discipline following health protocols, and the spread of the new subvariants. And as most people know, the PPKM, the community restrictions, have been reduced. We are at level 1 all over, and so there's more mobility and people have gotten back to life as normal. According to the health minister, Wikwik, every time we see a significant surge in infections in all countries across the globe, it is usually caused by the emergence of a new variant. He said that since the BA4 and the BA5 subvariants have driven spikes in cases in a lot of countries, he's pretty sure that the new subvariants are responsible for the recent increase in the country's transmissions as well. The minister predicted that the daily caseload during the peak of the BA4 and BA5 wave could reach around 20,000 cases, which is about a third with the high that we had of 60,000 previously. As of last Thursday, Indonesia has administered 369 million primary COVID-19 vaccine doses to 62% of the population. It's aiming to vaccinate 70% of the country's population by the end of this month. Only about 23% of the targeted 208 million people have received booster shots. So remember, the population is somewhere around 270 million, and so they took 70% of that, and they put that at the target of 208 million, and then it's 70% of 208 million. So a little playing with the numbers. Wikwik noted that the country still fell under level 1 community transmission according to WHO indicators, indicating that the COVID-19 outbreak in Indonesia is still under control. He said our community transmissions remain 1 case per 100,000 per week, lower than WHO's benchmark of 20. And our positivity rate is 1.36%, also lower than the WHO threshold of 5%. In other words, we're still doing good. Even though the number of cases has increased, we're still doing really good. And let's hope that we don't get to 20,000. Of course, whenever I see numbers coming out from the government, I always kind of take them with a grain of salt. And here is something interesting. This has been a law for a couple of years already, and well, it's just been brought up again. Smoking while driving can be fined. The police have promised to take firm action against motorists who smoke while driving. This applies to both motorbikes and cars, especially for those motorists who throw their cigarette ashes carelessly while driving. And yes, I have been hit in the face, and I'm a smoker. But I don't smoke when I'm driving. I have been hit in the face, in the eyes, with cigarette ashes from people in cars doing that, and it hurts. And it's dangerous, as this article confirms. The head of the Buleleng police said that smoking while driving is a traffic violation, and this is regulated by Road Transport Traffic Act and the Minister of Transportation Regulation number 12 of 2019. So it's been a law for, 3 years now? But people, of course, are still doing it because why? Well, because it's not enforced. Pak Andrian said that during Operation Compliance Agung 2022, smoking while driving is not the focus of law enforcement, but if people are found smoking while driving, they will be given a ticket. According to him, smoking while driving is a dangerous thing for road users. Cigarettes do not have a direct impact on the driver, he said, but ashes that fly out can affect the driver behind it, as I mentioned, happened to me before. And what is the punishment besides a ticket? Well, you can be given a maximum of 3 months in prison or a maximum fine of 750,000 rupees. Okay, the fine is pretty insignificant, but 3 months in the pen? Boy, do not smoke while driving. And some local news from Buleleng. You know, I'm a Buleleng fan, having lived here for 32 years. Not just fire, Buleleng firefighters handle wildlife. Okay, I didn't know this. The head of the Buleleng Fire Service, Imade Subur, is training his staff in handling wildlife in synergy with the Buleleng Resort Office, the Natural Resources Conservation Center, BKSDA, of Bali Province. The training took place at Banyuwalit Resort in Lovina, and if you're from up here, you know where that is, I'm sure, and that took place last week. The training, which took place at Banyuwalit Resort and Spa in Lovina, and if you're from up here, I'm sure you know where that is, it involved 110 personnel from Buleleng Fire Service and from Kubu Adan and Saririt fire stations as well. The training is aimed at increasing the competence of human resources of Buleleng Fire Service in dealing with wild animals that infiltrate residents' homes so that they have the potential to damage or even threaten lives. If you've lived here for a long time, you have probably had wildlife show up in your house one time or another. Pak Subur explained that his staff will be given an understanding of the characteristics of wild animals such as snakes, monitor lizards, monkeys, and so on. This is so that the handling of wild animals is not only safe for the officers and residents, but also does not hurt the animals being handled. Good. And when the animals are caught, they are evacuated to their proper habitat, so they're put back out in the wild. Okay, good idea, not killing them. He said, we can't kill these wild animals, but we send them to BKSDA so that in the process they will be returned to their habitat so they can return to the wild and not disturb residents anymore. Additionally, general information is being provided on the categories of wildlife on whether they're protected or not. This is important so the act of saving wildlife is in accordance with applicable regulations. And so, good news. If you've got a problem with wild animals in your house, you can call the fire department. And some more on animals and rabies. And rabies here in Buleleng. I've talked about rabies a lot over the last few months. Dog bites cases soared sharply in Buleleng. So dog bite cases continue to rise in Buleleng. Throughout 2022, the Buleleng Agricultural Service noted that there were 88 cases of bites reported to livestock officials, and it's estimated that there are dozens more that have not been reported. According to data from the Buleleng Agriculture Service, during 2022 alone, there are 88 cases of dog bites. A total of 6 cases were not sampled. 8 bite cases were declared negative for rabies and 74 other cases positive for rabies. And in June this year, this month, there had been a significant increase. From June 1st to the 10th, there were 20 cases of dog bites recorded. Of the dozens of cases, only 1 case was declared negative. 19 of those cases were declared positive for rabies. So we have a rabies problem here in Buleleng. Positive bite cases have been found in a number of villages around here, including Tingatinga, Pamutaran, Gorogak, Busungbiu, Temukus, Banyuatis, Sidatapa, and others. According to the head of livestock and animal health in Buleleng, Imade Suparma, he said, this is just reported cases. We suspect there are many cases not reported because if you look at the reports of friends at the health service, residents who asked for the VAR, the anti-rabies vaccine, continue to rise. According to Pak Suparma, ideally residents should immediately report dog cases to livestock officials so that the officers can regularly monitor the animal's health. Buleleng is in the top 3 of the highest dog bite cases in Bali. Well, okay, that's unfortunate. In addition to Buleleng, Karangasem and Jembrana are the other 2 in the top 3. Pak Suparma said that the government continues to make efforts to suppress rabies cases. One of the ways is to vaccinate against rabies. As of last Thursday, the Department of Agriculture vaccinated 20,695 dogs. Good for them. He said most of these are well-kept dogs. There are a few stray dogs, and honestly, they're very difficult to get because they run away and hide, so we have to catch them. Yeah. And in 2021, only 1 resident died from rabies, but so far in 2022, 7 people have died here from rabies. And so, gotta watch out for that. And as somebody commented in a previous video, not just dogs, but cats, monkeys, any kind of animal. And a little bit of road warning, especially if you are new to Bali or new to riding motorbikes in Bali, you have to be careful. And this has been viral this weekend. Videos on this, wow, and it's terrible. It is the worst accident that I have seen in a long time. A tourist bus crashes a number of vehicles and kills a pedestrian. So this happened on Kuningan the other day. A tourism bus from Java filled with kids, junior high school kids, lost control in Bacariti on Saturday, and one victim was reportedly killed. Now, if you take a look at this picture, that is not the worst case. It didn't have any of the other pictures. The vehicles, some of them completely destroyed. It's amazing that the people in the cars were not killed. Just gone. Amazing. And so this bus was coming downhill, they said, and the brakes failed and it picked up speed, swerved out of control, and it banged into a number of vehicles. Amazingly, none of the students in the bus, there were 55 students from SMP Lab School in Surabaya, none of them were killed, even though the bus went way off the road. This is just, it's a miracle that only one person was killed, and that person was a pedestrian. And this time of the year, and I've talked about this before, you get a lot of school buses coming in from Java, end of the school year, field trips. So this bus was stopping in Badugul to look at the lake and the temples, and then it was going to be on its way to Gianyar. Well, and obviously never made it. 10 private cars were damaged, including 3 motorcycles. The bus driver was taken to the Bacariti police station where, well, as of yesterday, he was still there. And according to the driver, the bus brakes failed. And the police said after investigation, they determined that he was not falling asleep and was not under the influence of drugs. So this was a case of the brakes failing. If you've been on the road, you know there's a lot of curves here. These big vehicles pick up speed as they're going down, and so you have to be careful. As I've said before, no matter how good a driver you are, and I'm a pretty good driver, I've been driving these roads for 32 years, I do not like that road. It is not safe, especially this time of the year with these big buses. And one more segment before we wrap it up, and what is it going to be? Bules Behaving Badly. And this is an interesting one, and this has also gone viral this weekend. Viral video of Bule doing it on the beach, allegedly in Bali. Yeah, 2 Bules where, well, having fun on the beach. I don't know what comes over these people. Maybe it's just tropical madness. A video of the indecent act of a pair of foreign nationals has gone viral on social media. The action took place on the beach. The video was 2 minutes and 50 seconds. I did not see it. The incident allegedly occurred at the edge of the Pedestrian beach in Mengwi, Badung. According to the Perbakal of the village, he said he's not really sure that it took place there because, well, they looked at the waves and the waves were not big enough for that beach, that beach has big waves, and these waves looked like it, and that there were no signs really to show that it took place there. Although another story says that there was a sign that said Pedestrian, but that's questionable. I don't know. I didn't see any photos that showed that. The people that took the video were speaking in Balinese. The police are investigating, and, well, the people that took the video and uploaded it, they may be in more trouble than the people that were doing it if they get caught, because it is against the very draconian pornography law to upload naked videos and videos of people doing it. And so the police are looking for those people, as well as the foreign couple who were having fun on the beach, right? Sex on the beach. Isn't that a tropical drink here in Bali? As I said, I don't know what people think here. You're having sex on the beach, really? Now, this is a story that, well, it's everywhere in the Indonesian media and on social media, and I'll follow it up and see if anything comes of this. And that is it for today. If you found this video helpful, useful, informative, scintillating, not irritating, humorous, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Videos are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We have cooking videos on Sunday. This coming Sunday, we will not have a cooking video. We did not get to film yesterday, so we're going to skip that for a week. But I think on Sunday I will upload another Singaraja snippets in its place. Okay, thanks for viewing. Be kind to someone today. Stay safe, and I will see you on Wednesday.